Welcome to a new AI agent tutorial. My name is Florence and today we're gonna create a blog post. I'm gonna give you a quick demo of what we actually gonna build. So here you can see one version of how the blog post gonna look like, and here another version. It looks different as we use AI. So this tutorial got inspired by the CEO of CrewAi, which is João Moura. It's a very great tutorial. It's totally for free. It's about 1 hour and I really recommend it for you to check it out. Okay, so actually now let's get started and jump right into the code. What I did is I pretty much copy pasted all of the code of the tutorial. So, and what this AI agents are doing is kind of the same things that you can do with ChatGPT, because it's a beginner tutorial of CrewAi and we really start at the beginning. So what we want gonna do, we have 3 agents and 3 tasks. Very simple right now. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna create a blog post with these agents. HTML blog post, what I showed you right now. This tutorial, if you follow the tutorial, it's not an HTML blog post what will be created at the end, it's a markdown blog post. So the output format, which I will going to show you, is markdown actually. So right now I'm going to run the script once very fast, and I'm going to show you the output. The output will be stored in this file, which is version 1 MD. I just gonna run it now and then I show you the output, and then we go step by step through those agents and I explain you what they actually do. So I'm gonna run the script. Actually, just to say it better, I run the crew because it's CrewAi and at the end we're gonna have a crew. So let's take a look at what we created here. What will be created is, well, we started in, what is it called? Version 1 MD. So I put here version 1 MD. So this is right now the output of the agents. It's in Markdown. So actually, let's see if we can, I'm gonna show you better. Markdown online viewer. And here we are. I'm gonna delete it, put it here. So this is how our blog article looks like. It is actually fitting. It's about AI agents. Okay, so we have like headlines, H1 headlines, H2 headlines, and so on. And at the end, we have a call to actions. And yeah, here I can actually see that there are some parts which are not supposed to be in the blog, but yeah, for now you can just remove them and later you can improve the prompts that we don't have this. Okay, this tutorial will be cut into 2 parts. In the first part, I'm gonna explain you roughly what the code is about, and then we're gonna jump into the code and edit it. So because now we have, as you just saw, a markdown. You have a markdown file, but we want an HTML file because HTML files, most of the blog posts are in HTML format and it's much easier then to publish it. So what we're gonna do is, yeah, I run you through the code. First I run you through the code, how it works in general, what is happening, and then I tell you the small adjustments I made. Okay, so the first part, it's quite of basic. It's importing like all the the Python libraries which are necessary. Then we redefine the codes, we define our model, and then comes the more interesting part, which are those agents. If you work with agents, with AI agents and AI agent frameworks, what you have to do is like you have a task. In this case, our task is to create a blog post. So you have to think what of kind of people you would need for creating a very good blog post. So what we have is here, we have a content planner. The content planner, as the name says, is planning the content. It's like giving the base structure. It's not like writing the articles yet. It's like thinking of what could we create for this kind of audience. And then we need someone, of course, who writes this article, which is then the content writer. He is a professional writer, and he knows how to write articles following all the best practices. And then, but a writer sometimes maybe get lost in just writing in his bubble. So it makes sense that after the content writer did his job, to kind of check it for grammar, check it for does it really fit the audience. So we have, after the content writer did his job, we have an editor who's kind of checking everything. So then, how do you actually create an agent in CrewAi? You can use, there are many more other frameworks you can use. There's like AutoGen, there is AutoGPT, Baby Aggie, things like that you can use. In this case, we use CrewAi, and they are kind of similar in their base structure. So in this case, what you have to do is you have to define a role, a goal, and a backstory. So the role we kind of covered already. And the goal is like, yes, you have to tell it very precise and short what is his job, the main goal of his job actually. And here it's like plan engaging and factually accurate content for a specific topic. How we use this, we're gonna come to later. Then we have the backstory. In the backstory, you kind of give the background of this agent. So you explain in short words how, like you are working on planning a blog article about the topic, blah, blah, blah. You collect information that helps the audience to learn something and make informed decisions. You work in the basis and form a content writer to write an article on this topic. So here we have already the connection that these two guys gonna work together closely. Now, I will not run precisely to what is written here. Basically, the more details you give here, the better it is. And if you want to highlight something, it's best practice in prompt engineering that you can kind of repeat things. So basically we define here that those guys, they're supposed to work together, and at the end you have the blog post. So here you can see we define two. We have at the end the blog post written. What is in my opinion a little bit more important is how you define the tasks. In the tasks, you are very precise what we're gonna happen at the end. So here we say, okay, we're gonna plan the task, and we create the comprehensive content plan, which is the result of this task. So for the task, when we define those, we have a description and an expected output for now. You can add much more features, or like you can use tools and make it much more complex, and then it's gonna be very different than ChatGPT. Right now, it's kind of the same thing as, well, it's not the same thing as ChatGPT, but what we do right now is very possible and very easy to do with ChatGPT too. Maybe you are even faster doing it. But if you learn more and more about AI agent frameworks, you will see that they are much, much more powerful than ChatGPT. Okay, so concerning the task, here we outline very precise, like prioritize select trends, key players, and noteworthy news on the topic. Identify the target audience, develop the detailed content outline, and include SEO keywords and relevant data of source. So here we say very clearly what this agent should actually do. And the output will be then a comprehensive content plan document with outline, audience analysis, SEO keywords, and resources. This is like the outline, the base structure for the next agent. When you do this in ChatGPT, it's always good to let ChatGPT first create a breakdown of your task that you want to do. For example, you want to write a text, so start with the outline of the text. You want to create a program, develop a program. Create first the base structure, and only if you have the base structure and you're happy with the base structure, let it actually do the work. Write the article, write the text, code what you want to code. So then it's done with this task and it's passing this content to the next agent, which is in this case the writer. One more thing that is important, you have the expected output and you have the agent you define to do this task. So this task is delegated to the planner, next task is delegated to the writer, and so on. So the writing task, of course, quite straightforward. The writer will now gonna start and just write the article. So we define what he's actually doing, and then after that we define the editor that he has to check it, and the expected output is then a well-written blog post in Markdown format, which is the result I showed you already. So when you defined your agents and when you defined your tasks, the next thing that you have to do is to kick off actually the crew. So in this example, what we're going to do is we have a sequential crew. That means that there's this task by task by task. There are different ways of organizing a crew in CrewAi, which we come back later in the following videos. So what is important here? Of course, you have to say, okay, in this crew, we have the 3 agents that we defined and the task. And here, the order of the tasks is very important because it is sequential. So it has to be really the content, the content planner is doing a plan, and you cannot just pass it right away to the editor because the editor expects to edit the editor's task expect to edit what the writer already did. So those tasks has to be in order. The verbose is like about the output. We set verbose to 2 because we really want to see all the output. And then the final point, this one we don't use yet, but then we have the topic which we enter. Here we have the topic which we say is AI agents. This can be anything. So the topic can be agents, whatever you want. Cars, new cars, whatever, the new iPhone, anything. And so the topic, as you see, we enter in the task and in the agents too. So to clarify what they are that they are supposed to write off. And here you can actually get a glimpse of the power of CrewAi or an agent framework, because you only have to change here one word and then you just get a new blog post with a totally different topic. With ChatGPT would be a little bit more difficult. Okay, Right now you only had to write with ChatGPT, okay, now write me an article about this or that. Fair enough. Yeah, and then after that, you kicked it off, you get the result, which we just saw. And now I'm just gonna guide you very quickly what is actually happening here. So let's go to the beginning. Quite a lot of text. Yes, sorry, I forgot about that. The changes I made, which are different from the tutorial. Okay, the main part, which is very different from what I did in the tutorial, is that I'm using not a model from OpenAI. I don't use GPT 3.5 or GPT 4 or 4.0. I use Grok. Why I use Grok? Because it's totally free and it is extremely fast. So how to do that? I define here the LLM. I imported it here from LangChain. And then in the agents, I changed this. I defined the language model the agent are supposed to use, which is Grok here. So this is what I did for all of the agents. And another little change I did, I defined an output file to have the output. They did it a little differently. They just printed it out, as you can see there too. Okay, then let's here jump into the outputs of the agents. I'm lost. Let me see. The output of the agents. Okay. Here it started. Okay. So, as we defined in the agents, first we have the outline of the blog post. Then this full outline with SEO keywords, call to actions, and so on. The resources, all of this then will be passed to the next agent, the writer, the actual writer, and he will consider all of this content for his article. So all of this is going to pass to him, and then he's going to start his job. So then the agent going to write this article. Here you're going to see is you have already the markdown article. And all of this, what you wrote, will be passed with some instructions to the editor. And then, of course, the editor will edit it, and you have the final output, which is the done article. Good. So right now, what we have, we kind of know what is happening here, but what is now starts the important part because, or like not the important part, let's say the interesting part, because we want to edit it, like adjust it. And if you watch the tutorial of João, he will actually recommend that to you too, that you do a chapter, do like a first part, and then you play around with it. And this is what we're gonna do right now. So as we said, what we want, we don't want Markdown, we want HTML. So the first change what we do is very, very simple. We just check where it's Markdown used here. And then we just change this one to HTML. And then, of course, we have then, let's say version 2. And this is HTML. And then we're gonna take a look what we actually got. So let's run it. And here you see this, here you see the magic of Grok. To do this in ChatGPT, even ChatGPT 3.5 Turbo, it would take a while. But with Grok, it's like amazingly fast. And this is actually their USP. They created an infrastructure precisely for speed. And yeah, actually, Rock itself does not have any large language models. You can choose a large language model, and in my case, I choose the Llama 370 billion parameter model from Meta, which is pretty good. And it's totally free and open source. So you can even create your own fine-tuned version of it if you want to. So we now have the markdown, we have our HTML file. So let's take a look. Let's take a look how it is. The file we defined is version 2 HTML. So let's duplicate this one. And no, sorry, this is wrong. This we don't need anymore. So let's duplicate this one. And here we have version 2 HTML. So as you can see here, that it is not really HTML. That is because, yeah, we did not really define an agent with a specialized in HTML. So what we need right now is a new agent who is like really a professional HTML developer. And what we want him to be is like specialized and nice UX block UI UX. So this is what we're gonna do right now, because with this result we are definitely not happening. One thing, if you repeat it, can be, as we are working with large language models, can be that you have a totally different result. So we might run it once more. So yeah, as you see, it's like very, very fast. To get this is very rare to have. And let's see. See, the result is totally different. And I won't say that it's better, actually. I think this is worse because it's not even markdown or like proper markdown anymore. So let's improve that. So how we improve that? That's easy. Well, let's see if it's easy and if the result is good at the end. Because remember, what we actually want is something similar to this. I know it's not like the perfect blog post, but it does look a lot better than this. Okay, so how are we gonna do that? So what we need is another agent, which is the UX designer. So who's creating code in, well, actually it's a front-end developer specialized in UX design, let's say. Okay, so I'm using Copilot in Visual Studio Code. So I'm gonna get some suggestions. Copilot is using GPT-4. I'm gonna use these suggestions, and if you're coding, well, I recommend to use like an assistant for Visual Studio Code. So I'm gonna do that, and I basically use those suggestions and then edit those. So define the front end. What we want is we want the front end developer agent specialized in UX. Exactly. So then we're gonna do that. We have then our front-end developer. So let's see if ChatGPT, it's not ChatGPT, it's our GPT-4 model, did a good job. So develop a responsive and visibly appealing website for the blog post on the topic. We don't really want a website. I think, well, for me, I personally interpret a website with nav and navigation and footer, header, all of these things. I think this is not what we want. We want like a basic one-page blog post. So develop a responsive and visibly appealing, blog post on the topic. That's fine. You're a front-end developer working on creating a website for the blog post on topic. Your goal is to design a responsive, visually appealing website, appealing blog post, and uses HTML. You will work closely with the content planner and content writer and to ensure that the website design align with the content branch guidelines. Well, that sounds good for me so far. It uses the topic thing. It's like, it is, well, the front-end developer. We have the role, we have the goal. Will it be appealing blog post on topic? Blog post written in HTML. I'm gonna highlight a lot this HTML because, as you saw before in the example, it wasn't really HTML. It was still like some kind of markdown. And well, I would say that it's fine, because what I really recommend you is in the first try, I would not spend hours defining my agent. Just define it and then check out what's happening, and then you fine tune. Iteration is much better than just try to imagine everything what is happening. So now we're gonna do the task, and the task I would say is even more important than the agent. And so here define a front-end developer task, and let's see what it's spitting out. And here we have to be probably a little bit more precise. So we have this description. Design a responsive and visually appealing blog post in HTML format. That's good. Ensure the blog post is user-friendly, accessibility. Implement the design according to the brand style guide. Optimize. We don't have a brand style guide, so this we don't need. Optimize the blog post for search engine. Well, okay, this we can do, but actually what we want to focus more is like on the design. So what we want to do is now is like make the blog post nice and visually appealing, following the UI UX best practices. What we want, the blog post should, yeah, exactly. We want it definitely responsive, and we want it to be centered. The blog post should be centered and have a good font size. Yeah, that sounds fair. So just for clarity, make it nice. And here, of course, the output file is version 3, I would say. And this is HTML2. And yeah, basically that's it. Now we have to see, we have to complete our crew, which is we have the front-end developer, and at the end we have the front-end development. I don't know, I don't like this name. I would say I call it edit HTML to follow the guidelines which we had here. The image URL we don't use that. Don't worry, we're gonna add an image too. For now, we just wanna see how it's actually improving our code. So I think we are set up. We defined our crew. That should be everything fine. So I think we just give it a try. We run our crew. And in the meantime, well, as it is so fast, we can already here put it, duplicate, and this is actually version 3 then, what we're gonna check. Let's see if it's already there. It is already there. So, yeah, it is better. It's definitely HTML, and it is, let's say, see if it's mobile optimized. It is kind of mobile optimized. But, well, there are some elements we actually don't want. We don't want the navigation, and it is not really centered. So I think we have to do some small adjustment. And what is that? Read more. I don't know. So, yeah. First thing, I don't think that we want a navigation and any links so far and buttons. We don't want those things for now. So, what we're gonna do is bum bum bum. I think this for now we don't need. What we're gonna do is don't add what we don't want. Don't add navigation bar and just the blog post exactly. And don't add any buttons. Don't add any buttons for now. And yeah, and I think for now and here 7 use CSS to style the blocks and make it visually appealing. I don't know if this helps with the CSS. And what we highlight is that it has to be really centered. So let's see that. Take care that the blog post is really centered. Okay, let's see if those changes helped actually. We run it. Okay, let's see. I would say it looks better. Let's take a look. So, let's take a look if this one is not a lot better. And here, yes. Yes, 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 yes. This is what we wanted. Now, this already is looking excellent. Man, of course, it's not perfect, but I mean, if you compare the first and the second result, this is a lot better. So the only thing what we want to add now, we even have links. Let's see if those work. I don't think so, but let's see. It's just linking back to the same page, it seems. Or is it like hot links that, let me see that. So, oh yeah. I mean, it's okay, it's jumping always to the top. Okay, those links are not really working. It's fine. We could say that we don't want those resources, but I think for now we are happy with that. And yeah, I think the only more thing what we want to add now is like a header image, which is pretty simple. This is how I show you how to use this variable inputs. So what we're gonna do is we have here the image URL. I'll just show you very fast what it is. So this is basically the image. And so then I just tell them Okay, 9, add a header image to the blog post, make it visually appealing, and add a header image. Image. Add a header image with the given image URL to the blog post and make it visually appealing. Yeah, I think that's basically it. What we want to do. So here we defined in the inputs what you pass to the CrewAi. When you kick it off, you defined an image URL. We do the same thing. So let's see. And if this is, so I think now I'm gonna call it version 4. And I think this output file we don't really need. So yeah, we then have our version 4 compared with version 3. And if it's kind of good, we are happy for now, I would say. So let's kick it off. And I'm always amazed with the speed of this grok thing. So this is, I think this is really the future of working with AI agents, because imagine you have to wait for this, like usually if you do this with GPT-4, you have to wait like 2 or 3 minutes for the output every time. And here it's, well, it's not instant, but I have to say that it's really, really fast. So I recommend everyone to play a little bit around with grok. I will paste the link. And yeah, so now we are done with this one, and we have here then, let's see how this one will be different than our version 3. Here it is. Well, we have the image in the header. It's changed, it decided to change back the colors, which I actually liked. I liked it to bring in some colors. But okay, I'm okay with that. And it does look a little bit different. We have some elements that we had here, applications of AI agents. Well, yeah, he changed something. So if you want it to be really always like that, let's say, you have to be more precise. You have to say that you want bullet point lists. And then you should have kind of always have bullet point lists. But I think if you create blog posts and if you create blogs, it's nice to have some variations. Okay, so yeah, I think that's it for now with my first tutorial about CrewAi AI agents. And yeah, thanks a lot for watching, and I hope you liked it. And yes, in the next video I will give you more content and we make those agents more advanced. So have a nice day and ciao.